Let me tell you something no one has ever said to you this way directly. That research phase you're in, that careful, thorough planning stage where you're gathering information, watching tutorials, reading articles, making lists of what you need to know before you begin. It's not preparation. It's procrastination wearing a disguise so elegant, so respectable that even you can't see through it. Listen to me carefully. I'm not saying research is bad. I'm not saying planning is useless. I'm saying that somewhere along the way you stopped researching to prepare and started researching to hide. And here's the beautiful part, the tragic part. You don't even know you're doing it. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you wanted to start something new? Maybe it was learning a language. Maybe it was starting a business. Maybe it was creating art, writing a book, building something with your hands. And what did you do first? You researched. You told yourself, I need to understand this fully before I begin. I need the right method, the right tools, the right strategy. I can't just jump in blindly. That would be foolish, wasteful, inefficient. So you watched videos, you read articles, you compared approaches, you made spreadsheets, you created elaborate plans, and then more research. Because something was still unclear, some piece was still missing. One more video, one more book, one more expert's opinion, and days became weeks, weeks became months. And that thing you wanted to create, that dream you wanted to pursue, that skill you wanted to master, it remained perfectly preserved in the future. Safe, untouched, unstarted. Do you know what I call this? The research trap. And here's the truth. You've been told that preparation prevents failure, that planning creates success, that knowledge comes before action. You've been told that the person who researches thoroughly is wise, while the person who jumps in immediately is reckless. But that's not the whole truth. Here's what's really happening in your brain. Pay close attention to this because this changes everything. When you research, when you plan, when you prepare, your brain gets something remarkable, the feeling of progress without the risk of failure. Think about that. Every article you read, every video you watch, every note you take, your brain releases small hits of dopamine. You feel productive, you feel like you're moving forward, you feel like you're doing the work. But here's the trick. You're not creating anything. You're not testing anything, you're not failing at anything, and that's exactly the point, because actually starting, is terrifying. Starting means showing your real skill level, which is probably lower than you'd like to admit. Starting means producing work that's clumsy, ugly, embarrassing. Starting means discovering that you're not as naturally gifted as you imagined. Starting means confronting reality. So your brain, clever thing that it is, finds a loophole. It says, I'm not avoiding the work, I'm preparing for it. I'm being smart, I'm being thorough, I'm being responsible. And you believe it, because it feels true, because research is valuable, because planning is useful. But not like this. Not as a fortress wall you build higher and higher to keep the scary work on the other side. Imagine something with me. Imagine a child who wants to learn to ride a bicycle. Now imagine this child decides, first, I need to understand the physics of balance. I need to study the biomechanics of pedaling. I need to research the optimal tire pressure for my weight. I need to watch tutorials on proper posture. I need to create a detailed training plan. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? Because you know that the child learns to ride by riding, by wobbling, by falling, by feeling the balance shift beneath them, by making 10,000 tiny adjustments that no research could have taught them. The child learns through contact with reality. And here's the secret, so do you. Your brain wasn't designed to learn through information accumulation. It was designed to learn through action and feedback, through experiment and error, through doing something badly until you start doing it less badly. Think about everything you're actually good at in life. Really think about it. Did you learn to have conversations by reading books about social skills for months before speaking? Did you learn to cook by memorizing recipes before touching food? Did you learn your job by studying the employee handbook for weeks before starting? No. You jumped in, you were clumsy, you made mistakes, you got feedback from reality, immediate, honest, sometimes painful feedback. And your brain, magnificent learning machine that it is, used that feedback to adjust, to improve, to grow. That's how humans learn, through the sacred cycle of action and response. And that's the beautiful part, the part they don't tell you about learning, about creating, about becoming someone new. You don't become through knowing, you become through doing. The person you want to be, the writer, the entrepreneur, the artist, the speaker, the creator. That person doesn't exist in research documents. That person doesn't live in tutorial videos. That person isn't waiting for you at the end of a perfectly constructed plan. That person emerges through messy, imperfect action. Think about this. Every master, every expert, every person you admire for their skill, they didn't research their way to mastery. They stumbled their way to mastery. They created terrible first drafts. They launched broken first versions. They gave awkward first presentations. They accumulated what research never could have given them: experience. Experience is not something you can download. It's not something you can absorb through reading. Experience is the texture of reality pressing against your attempts. It's the 1,000 small lessons that only reveal themselves when you're actually in the arena, actually trying, actually failing and succeeding and failing again. You weren't born to be a perfect researcher. You were born to be a messy, glorious experimenter. And here's what happens when you finally break free from the research trap. When you give yourself permission to start before you're ready. When you accept that incompetence is not a character flaw, it's a necessary stage. You discover something miraculous. The real learning begins. Because now you have context. Now you have questions born from actual experience. Now when you research, you're not accumulating abstract information. You're solving real problems you've encountered. You're filling specific gaps you've discovered. The research transforms from procrastination into genuine problem solving. And more than that, you discover that you're more capable than you thought, not more talented, not more gifted, but more resilient, more adaptable, more willing to look foolish in service of growth. You discover that the fear was worse than the reality, that starting imperfectly beats waiting perfectly, that done badly now beats done perfectly never. So listen to me. Really listen. That thing you've been researching for weeks, months, maybe years, you already know enough to start, not enough to be good, not enough to be confident, not enough to avoid mistakes, but enough to take one small, clumsy, imperfect action. And that action will teach you more than another 100 hours of research ever could. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, today, this moment. Choose one thing you've been researching, planning, preparing for. Just one thing. And do the smallest possible version of it. Badly, imperfectly, incompletely. If it's writing, write one terrible paragraph. If it's a business, make one clumsy sale attempt. If it's art, create one ugly sketch. If it's speaking, record one awkward practice video. Give yourself permission to be exactly as bad at it as you currently are. Because that's not failure. That's honesty. That's courage. That's the beginning of real transformation. Now I want to hear from you. I want you to write in the comments below with just one sentence. I've been hiding in research, but today I'm starting with. Complete that sentence. Make it public. Make it real. And if this message resonated with you, if it challenged something you needed to hear, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification, because we're going to keep exploring these deeper truths about learning, about productivity, about becoming more conscious of how your mind actually works. Give this video a like if it helped you see through your own disguise. And remember this: the gap between who you are and who you want to become isn't crossed with information. It's crossed with action. Messy, imperfect, glorious action. Your future self isn't waiting for you to know more. Your future self is waiting for you to start. So start.